Good morning. How's everybody doing? I'll move back to the light. Hey, I wanted to hit on something today that kind of near and dear to my heart. There's a fine line between these two right here, and I kind of wanted to talk about that because I'm seeing a bit of both. And I think one is extreme and one is smart. So let's kind of go over the differences. So you you're going to act the way you're going to act and you're going to be who you're going to be. But this is just kind of the way I look at it and my take on it. So the difference between being frugal, hello, and cheap. Yeah, I've been known to be, but I've gotten better over the years. One of the things that we think about a lot especially if you're watching this, is investing. You're thinking about investing in the morning, you're thinking about it at night when you go to bed. And it's super important to you, and I understand that. I get it. And you want to get there as quickly as possible. Some of you are at the opposite end of the spectrum, and you need to work on that, which is you want to look like you've already arrived, and you're spending all of your money looking like you've arrived, but you haven't arrived yet. We talk about the Gucci belt a lot, and we talk about the Mercedes and things like that. Hey, look, I've had a Mercedes in the past. I could afford it. And I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that if that gets in the way, I did sell the Mercedes, and I I put some money onto one of my investments with it. It made me feel good. But what I'm talking about today is not that. That's a different subject. Today we're talking about frugality and being cheap. So what are the differences between being frugal and being cheap? A frugal person looks for deals. That's me. I'm every day, all day looking for a deal. A cheap person will find that deal and grind the crap out of it to where not everybody makes money. So when you're looking for deals, if you really want to get them, you got to work with the person that's bringing them to you. If you grind them and grind them and grind them, guess what? They're not going to send you the next one. So make sure that you're very careful with that. I've been guilty of this in my early days. So people will not give you a second chance if that's the case. If you're hard to work with, don't plan on wholesalers or real estate agents or anybody else bringing the deals. I'm the exception to the rule. I wear what I wear just because I do. So, but a lot of you out there need to dress a certain way, and I do when I need to. You don't see it, but I do when I need to. When I go to meetings, I actually have a sports coat, slacks, nice shoes, everything. But a frugal person can look fashionable. They're careful with their money. They go to Ross. They go to the places where decent cut, decent brands, people do look, people do judge. Always remember that. A cheap person just doesn't bloody well care. They're going to wear what they wear, and to hell with everybody else. Well, like I said, people will judge, so be very careful with that attitude there. A frugal person will discuss finances, and a cheap person only talks about money. So in a broad sense, finances covers a lot of different things, how we can save money on things, how we can maybe get a better deal on something. A cheap person only talks about dollars and cents. Now you're saying, Mark, that's kind of what we're here for, right? To talk about dollars and cents? Yeah, to a certain extent. But a frugal person will talk about how to get good deals and the ways to do it. I mean, even using coupons and things like that. Whereas a cheap person will only talk money. They're only dollars and cents, and there's no heart and soul in it. I have a hard time explaining what I mean here, but you'll know when you talk to a cheap person about money or a frugal person, it's different day and night. A frugal person will share ideas. They'll talk about how they might be saving a little bit of money. Hey, look, there was a coupon at Sizzler for kids eat free on Sundays. So we went. It was great. We had a good time. Mr. Cheapo will never go to Sizzler because he has to pay for it. He's going to look for that free coupon, and he's going to judge everybody else that spends money. Now, I'm never going to judge you for spending money. I may point it out, though, if you're doing it unwisely, just because I want you to get to your goals quicker. A frugal person saves money. They're saving money. They're cutting corners where they can while still enjoying their lives. A cheap person hoards money at the expense of enjoying anything other than hoarding money. That's all the joy they get in life is hoarding money. They will eat canned soup, instead of eating healthy food, they'll do all kinds of things. They won't go to the gym because it's too expensive. They won't pay for a course because they want to learn something. They'll try to learn it on their own and make mistakes and spend more money even though they're still hoarders. Crazy psychology. They'll buy a really inexpensive car that needs repairs all the time, thinking that they're saving money, but they're not. It's a different mindset. A frugal person travels on a budget. Hey, there's a really good special for a cruise for the Mexican Riviera. It's $495 per person. That's smart, right? That's a smart way to travel. A cheap person will go to the next town over, stay in a Motel 6, and make a work day out of it. That's kind of their mindset. They're not into enjoying themselves. They want to show that they're suffering for their religion, which is their cheap religion. A frugal person drives a nice car. A cheap person asks for a ride. In other words, they're asking for a ride because their car doesn't necessarily run, or they don't have a car. If you can get by with that, that's fine. But if you're asking other people for rides, that's just cheap, guys. And if you can't afford it yet, different story. But if you can afford it and you're asking other people for rides, that's just being cheap, guys. You might not see a big difference between these two, but there is. It's night and day. This person doesn't shove their religion down somebody's throat. This side over here, that's all they talk about is how much money they saved. I saved 20 cents on a can of soup. Woo! That's it. That's the existence for them is cheapness. Whereas a frugal person enjoys life, but they're just smart with their money. And they know that they can get to their goals much faster by being frugal. By being cheap, you might not ever hit your goals because you're going to be afraid to buy anything. All right, guys, so I hope you can kind of see the subtle differences or the not so subtle differences. Want to leave you with something. Enjoy life while you're living. You know, a cheap person doesn't enjoy their life. They do this all their lives and they get worse and worse as they get older and they never take the time to enjoy life. You know what? I've seen it so often where been to many homes where I'm trying to purchase the home. And you can just tell the people have lived such a cheap existence. There's no joy in that house. Versus a frugal person. They still decorate, they still wear nice clothes, they still enjoy life, they still travel, they still do things, they still live and exist and enjoy themselves. They just do it smart. There's a difference between the two. One is ridiculous and extreme, and one is just smart. So think about that. And guys, always move forward, okay? Move forward today. Do something and move forward. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.